Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ranwin Parked with myself, Gone Dodger, Kurt J. Mac, who can't stop buying cars from Ranwin Parked, and ZK.
I have a problem. The first step is admitting.
I think we've created a problem.
It's really bad when you have to, not when you have to, but when you look at these like every day and then you're like, you know what, I could probably do this.
But that's I really have not changed habits. Honestly, I feel like I've gotten better because I used to just look for things that I would, make mistakes on. But now I'm like, okay, I'm looking for things for the show, and that's what I'm here to do.
It has. I mean,
So now you just have an excuse.
yeah. Now you have an excuse. I have noticed how the things that if you only randomly search, like, oh, I'll never see one of those again, but then they pop up again. Except for a Subaru SVX, mind you. That's the find you got to hold on to.
Or at least a Subaru SVX radiator.
Yes. Any more tips on tracking down an SVX radiator? I'm taking them. Just stop by my house and let me know.
Or tips
Yeah.
to help pay for a radiator to be shipped from Japan for $1,500.
Oh god, yes.
I'm really curious if they actually have them, because all of these, there's a ton of these websites that they exist only in Japan, and they just seem to have warehouses full of OEM Japan parts. And they all list that they have this radiator for a minimum of $1,500.
Yeah, it's like for that price we can find the original design specs and fab you one or something like that. Yeah, they just have a spreadsheet of part numbers. I don't know if they actually have the part.
Right. I don't know.
I hope it's not like with the Saab, I'm looking for a particular part which has been superseded like 3 or 4 times, and the part that they send you now doesn't fit or look anything like the part that I need.
Thought you were selling that
I
Saab,
can't
though.
imagine. Yeah.
It'd probably still better if it, ran.
Huh. Are you saying maybe if it ran when parked, it would have sold better?
It did. It parked itself in that spot.
This is really going straight into that whole debate of like, what does ran when parked mean? Does that mean it was like running and this is where it stopped? Or does that mean when it was parked, you physically turned it off? Where do you draw a line here?
You know where we can find where that line is? By seeing the current listings for what ran when parked, Cone Dodger and ZK.
Boy, that was a segue and a half right there.
Yeah, I was putting it together as I was speaking it.
Because his mind was slowly putting together parts for a Subaru SVX. We're going to go in standard order this week because I have the mental capacity of a walnut. All right. Yes. My ran when parked this week kind of goes back to this whole obsessive ramp truck hunting thing. So I'm frequently looking for just trucks too. Any like passenger style truck that has a dually axle on it. And this one caught my eye. It's a cool truck. Unfortunately, I don't know that I actually have the info of the model. So we'll just say it's like a 1948 Chevy truck or something like that.
Yeah, it's late 40s, early 50s.
However, this one for $2,200, let's read through some of this. I was passed down Dad's old truck. Don't have time to fix it. It was running when parked about 30 years ago. Had to park due to the brakes locking up. All the glass is there besides the driver's side, which is cracked pretty good. I have the back glass. So great, that was not in for 30 years. Normal rust you would expect. Not that bad though, THO. Never wrecked and never been on the highway. For farm use only.
Is that a selling point?
I mean, just because it hasn't been used since highways were invented, that doesn't really give me a lot of good news. Under 40,000 miles on the motor. Okay.
Yeah, for a 40s car, that's basically done.
Here's the speedometer slash odometer.
So much schmutz on it, you can't even tell
Looks like
what we're looking at.
37,974 miles, maybe.
And you're definitely doing at least 0 to 10 miles an hour because the speedometer needle has melted and bent. Normal rust you would
plants
expect.
growing inside.
That's a tree growing through the bottom, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the engine bay. I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's
sit
got
on
the
this.
cutest little carb on it.
Isn't it adorable? Adorable. I'm gonna come back to that in a moment.
A garden hose for a fuel line.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to come back to. A literal garden hose for a fuel. There's no way that was done 30 years ago, right? Somebody's been here since then.
No, that's not even. What is that? That's not a fuel line because the fuel line is coming from the fuel. There's a fuel.
Possibly a vacuum line for something?
Yeah, that's probably... Does it even have boosted brakes?
I highly doubt it. But this, I can't get over the fact that this is the normal rust you would expect. I don't
like
know
how
what that means.
Three of the four tires on the rear are different.
Yeah, one on the far right looks like a straight up tractor tire. It does have a PTO on the back, which is kind of cool. And overall, this would be a really cool looking ramp truck. But you are basically building a brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
The body, I mean, sure, it's got the wonderful patina that I'm sure you could deal with.
Patina.
But when you put Ranwin Parked on this, you're really stretching.
Yeah, there's got to be a statute of limitations. 30 years. Had to park because the brakes were locking up. So
yeah,
it chose to park.
It looked like one of those switches was just melted or something. That was really bizarre. Go back one more.
This one, top
right. Like, why is it fuzzy?
I don't know. I mean, this is a vehicle in the South. It could just be melted. Pretty body style these were, though.
Yeah, no, they're really great, and
like I can.
a lot of people rebuild them too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I honestly see why this is being sold. I don't think this is even. I'm not here saying like, why would you bother selling this? I'm saying like, why try to list it as Ranwin Parked?
You think it's worth $2,200?
I don't know. I mean, $2,200 listed, $1,500. You get a body, maybe a frame. Running out of time. This truck is.
Yeah, it's been running out of time the last 30 years.
Oh man. All right, that was just one that was interesting for me because of my personal quest there to find a ramp truck that I just minutes before this recording watched one sell for $3,500 and broke my heart.
Not only did you watch it, but you screen shared it with the rest of us, so we had to watch as well.
Yes, you got to watch in real time as I crumbled. Kurt, what's your Ranwin Park this week?
I have discovered a 1991 Lotus Elan for $4,500, low miles. I had to look up what this is. I'm like, a Lotus? It is a 1991 Lotus Elan. It has a rebuilt title, which I'm sure is fine. I'm sure the parts are very easy to find. The car's been sitting for a long time. Rear quarter panel damage. Interior is in bad shape from sitting. Like from the car sitting or people sitting in the car. It says runs and drives. I don't believe them. That's why this is in Ranwin Parked. Because it says car's been sitting a long time. Top is.
You know what line I really like? If you are good at fixing fiberglass, this is a good project car.
Yes. So apparently,
right, now I gotta see why.
This is I guess Lotus tried to make the entry level exotic car. I guess it's front wheel drive. These are. They obviously did not sell well, and fiberglass bodies. I can't remember if they're front engined or I think they might be. Probably. Well, yeah, if it's front wheel drive, it's got to be
front wheel drive. Probably so.
Yeah.
What is it based on? got to be based on something, right? They didn't just make this.
All right, I see. This is why I'm such a good podcaster. I do research and then forget about it a week later.
Ah, yes.
But
By the
yeah.
way,
Oh yeah, that's another reason I wanted to add this in here because there's a clown
Hello
shoe.
there.
Clown shoe looking
there
for a
is
clown.
shoe.
But yeah,
That's-
if you want a Lotus,
What's funny is this is from that era where Lotus was putting their badge on literally every car that was for sale, like suspension by Lotus. And yet their own car was this.
It's apparently their own car.
Wow.
yes, it was also badged as a Kia from 96
Oh.
to 99.
From
it is-
96 to 99?
Yeah, the Lotus badge was 89 to 95. It turned into a Kia Elan, or in Japan, a Kia Vegato from 96 to 99, according to
Wow.
Wikipedia. A 1600cc Isuzu inline 4.
Can I go through the tags real quick?
Yes.
Ferrari, Esprit, Turbo, Lamborghini, Maserati, Porsche, Elise, Evora, M100, Viper, Corvette, Impulse, BMW, Mercedes.
Rare. So yeah, if you're in the market for a Viper, perhaps consider a front-wheel drive early 90s Lotus Elan.
I like that the Impulse is in there because if you're into the weird
Yeah.
car that is the Impulse, you'd probably be into this.
This is
actually.
probably for you. I like the only thing I really like is the pop-up headlights with the dual rounds. They
Mhm.
look kind of neat. Other than that, not a lot here to love. It kind of looks like the era Mercury Capri, which is why I was thinking it might be. But
Yeah, apparently the engine comes from the Isuzu Gemini. It's like nothing special. It's very strange.
it's very strange.
Its
the
sales
Lotus
were
Evora.
impacted by the Mazda MX-5 that came out about the same time.
I would bet. I would bet. Huh. Yeah,
Oh, apparently there was a turbo version.
well, it says turbo in the tags.
Ooh.
It's got to be this one.
It's got to be. Well, how much was it?
4,500.
Okay.
And then another $8, $9, $10,000 of parts and fixing.
Fiberglass.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that like the only two remaining cars that are like dream cars for me of the modern era are the TTRS and the Evora S. I don't think I'm ever gonna get there, so I guess I might just have to go buy this. It's basically the same.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
That's a fun Ranwin Park.
I like the little greenhouse it was in.
Yeah, that helped. No rust.
Help trap in the humidity, yeah.
Actually, we say that, and these fiberglass bodies are usually hung on a like steel subframe that could be completely rusted out, and you just have no idea. That was very interesting. I knew that those existed, had completely forgot about it.
For the better.
You and everybody else.
Yeah. All right, we had to make a whole new meaning for ZK. Did I say meaning?
Yep.
Get on with the meaning.
What is your meaning, ZK?
What's the meaning of this?
I had to make a whole new meeting for ZK because apparently he needs a lot of time for his Ranwin Park.
What we have here is a 2000 Mustang. Nothing really special about it, other than that it's been wrecked.
Well, is that really
And
special?
then left in a
about
field.
Mustang?
It's back to its natural environment.
Yeah.
I thought this was very interesting that they were just trying to sell this car. Because it's a wrecked Mustang in a field, and it's
Hey.
a V6 automatic.
But if you were good at fiberglass on that Lotus, here you go.
Do those have fiberglass? I mean, that does look like fiberglass.
All of the SN95 is fiberglass. The roof, the hatch in the back, I believe, and the hood are fiberglass.
Yeah, it's missing the whole front left corner.
It's missing something. I guess this is where that fake scoop is on the left. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, this is a new edge. I didn't realize that. Oof.
Covered in grime. The airbags are blown.
It
Got
doesn't.
moss growing on it.
I mean, it clipped the left front of the bumper guard, but it doesn't look like it was hit that terribly hard.
But like, for what they're asking for this, which is like $700, like, it's a V6 Mustang.
Oh, it is a V6.
Yeah. There's like, I don't understand why they're trying to sell this in this shape.
It's automatic too.
There's nothing of value here.
No, yeah, this is quite possibly the
What was
least
that
valuable
picture? Wait a
Mustang currently.
Here's some tissues in the back seat.
What, you didn't get valuable information out of this? Obviously, these seatbelt hoops are very hard to find, Kurt.
Yes, I mean, I won't go on about the SVX, but I got to get my dollar for it. It's got some very fancy seatbelt like holders that like present you the seatbelt to grab. Similar to that, but much neater and difficult to find.
Two things of note here. A, what is with the detailed pictures? Like, I'm trying to buy something for real and nobody wants to take detailed pictures. And B, is the floor crushed right here in the trunk? That looks like it's bent.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
That's really weird. Maybe it was hit harder than I thought.
Looking at it leaves me depressed still because of the loss. Just need to get rid of her.
Yeah, you do.
So here's the thing. I'm assuming they didn't have insurance and obviously didn't report this to insurance. Because insurance would have taken it and scrapped it or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, for most people with older cars, you only carry liability. You don't carry like comprehensive or collision on a car like this. And then when something happens to it, you just, it just sits in somebody's yard, and that's how this kind of car exists. Last June?
Yep.
Was still running last October. Well, I mean, if somebody needs an engine, maybe. I don't know. It's a parts car.
They're not interested in parting it out. Only the whole car.
Well, they just can't bear to look at it anymore. They have a lot of trailers.
They can just shove it on one and take it to the scrapyard.
That's literally a tandem trailer right there that this thing could be on, getting their $300 for scrap value.
Got different rims.
Yep. Both of the awful 3-spoke design.
I just don't quite understand why you would even list something like this, I guess.
I don't know.
Like, especially like buy the whole car, not interested in parting it out. Oh, they want to sell the whole cat. I'm sorry.
Oh, before it robs them?
Yeah. Price is to weed out bots. Well, how much do you really want then? Looking to sell the whole... Looking to sell the cat whole. All right, on that note, I'm out of here. I feel uncomfortable. Oh, man. Well, I feel like that listing was a mistake. Segue. Let's start to see what Kurt bought this week.
Oh, yes.
I promise, though, the I'd make that mistake category for me remains mistakes that I would make but can't. And this one is almost entirely Kurt's fault. A couple episodes ago, there was the mysterious MGB with pine cones in it. And something ignited inside of me when that car graced our presence. I really want an MGB all of a sudden. And they are, like, super reasonable. This is a 1974 $4,500. Well, it was a last model with chrome bumpers. No safety bumpers here. It seems like it was a car that somebody bought as, a basic restoration project, and they have given up on it. And I'll wallow in it.
You're inching closely to the clown shoe department of body styling.
Really am, and that's weird because I've never liked the clown shoes, really. And I don't generally like wagons or shooting brakes or anything like that. But for some reason...
But they're perfect.
Talk about perfect.
Back seat.
That could be the worst looking back seat I've ever seen. Look how high it is too. Like you need to be very short.
Original back seat, and they put back seat in quotes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's an in joke that they just did that for claiming that
this
it had back seats.
This is in the era where the whole it has back seats for insurance. That could probably be legitimate. Like that came from something. Like that didn't come from nothing. It's just not true anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure that's household carpet. Yeah, he says that it
Ooh, dual side
went
drafts.
for doing the interior and stopped there. What were you doing?
Dual side draft carbs.
Yep, with no air cleaners on is always a great sign.
Mm-hmm.
I really know nothing about these mechanically other than that we have one person on the community Discord that really, really suggested I stay away from these. And that made me want it so much more.
We got to talk to Beef.
They're probably right though.
Yeah, Beef had, he had a convertible, right?
No,
Or did
he had the
have a
GT.
MGB.
Yeah.
GT.
He had a right-hand drive model, though.
Right.
But he did not own that very long. There might be reasons we need to discuss with him.
Yeah.
The thing with MGs to me is that, like, when I was a kid, there were always the car that was in dad's friend's garage piled on with boxes piled on top of them, like the I'll get around to it car. And I think they're finally starting to come out for sale, and which is why they're so cheap.
Yeah,
But I
just
see
like this
these
guy says,
all over the
retired,
place.
done with it. That
Yeah.
time is over. So that could be me now. I don't have kids, so I have no excuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good place to store your boxes.
And at that price, I would probably have to store all of my boxes there.
And my bed.
And my bed. Luckily,
there
it's got
was-
so much room in the back.
Yeah, there was about the same time as the Pinecone edition came out. There was one that showed up around here. It looked in very better condition than this. It actually had the air cleaner on the carbs. And it was green, and it was, I think, for about the same price, or $4,300, and it did not last more than a day. Like somebody snatched that up because the people who I guess own these don't know how much people like us are willing to spend our mistakes on.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's not fast. It's not necessarily special, but it's styled right. It's got a cool look to it, and
I really love
and
this color too.
Yeah. And I think people around our age don't this car doesn't mean anything to them, so maybe that's why they're so cheap.
I agree.
We didn't grow up with any MGs while our parents probably did. So maybe they're kind of weird in that regard, because I can't say I've ever seen one on the road really, or knew anyone that had one that drove it.
Or that
Everyone
drove.
always wanted to restore one.
Yeah, it was a very. I even have neighbors back from living at my parents, and that was the quintessential car in the garage being restored for the entirety of my childhood.
Yeah.
But they are of the generation that are older and actually remember when these were new, when they were so different. 1974, same for the Z. You have this, you have a 240Z, and then you have the late muscle cars. This is so different from that. That's, I think, why these became so iconic to that certain generation. It'll be interesting to see if that transcends into like our generation, or if these just kind of fade into obscurity.
Or if they'll start going for $50,000 on Bring a Trailer.
I hope not, because then we'll be really upset about this $4,500 one. I, before moving on to Kurt's car, am going to go let a cat in before I think I'm literally going to get stabbed.
Whoa. Well, that's it. He's getting stabbed.
He's wasted our precious meeting time here. The danger is gone. Let's see what Kurt is in danger of doing. Oh, these segues are so good.
So good. And speaking of segues and shooting brakes, how about a 78 Vega wagon for only slightly more than that MG BGT for $49.95? A 1978.
Somewhere my dad just cheered, by the way.
This is
with a Buick V6. Ooh.
Vega wagon with the Buick V6 3.8. Lots of new things. Pros, new paint, candy burnt orange, turnkey runner, all the lights work, good glass, new door, new rubber seals. Cons, needs carpet. And they've done the research for you. It's on eBay for about $220. Needs upholstery, and you'll be good to go. But yeah, I guess this is where, I don't know the story behind these. Is this probably when the domestic automakers were like, oh crap, oil crisis. Look at these small Japanese and small European cars coming here. Let's try to copy the styling.
Mm-hmm.
But by then it was already too late.
It was too late, and to price match was too hard. So for American manufacturers to try and build something that was the same, price of the imports, they had to cut so many corners that the quality just didn't match. Like, you were paying the same price, but you were just getting a significantly, obviously less quality vehicle that history was not kind to. The wagon, though, is cool.
Yeah, isn't it, though?
Huh.
Like,
got that long glass in the back.
That's some Cone Dodger quality wiring going down the floorboard right there. Huh. Yeah, this is something my dad will be very interested. I hear very frequently about he and my mom having Vegas, like, early into them, like, being married and having kids. And, yeah, that's about all I ever hear of them because there ain't many around anymore.
No. And this one looks pretty good.
I like the Buick V6, too. Like, so many of them turned into drag cars because it was a General Motors parts bin car. You put a 350 in there and you got something that's, a pretty darn good drag racing car because it's so light. But Buick V6 is unique. That's some bad carpet. Oh, that's not carpet.
That's not carpet, that's the floor. Yeah.
Okay. Nearly plaid seats?
Nearly plaid.
Ah, nice. The classic test.
But isn't this supposed to be a penny, though? It's supposed to be a penny.
I think it's supposed to be a penny.
But anyway, you're up to who's that? Who's
That's
on the
Washington,
nickel?
Isn't it?
No, is Washington on a nickel?
I feel like Washington's on a nickel.
It's been a long time.
I feel
since
like
I've
you should
held a
know
nickel.
this. Washington's on every sign in Washington.
Well, it's up to Washington's eyebrows, the tread depth on the tires. Here it is after its fresh coat of candy burnt orange or whatever it was.
It's a weird color, but it kind of works for this era body style.
It just kind of looks brown in a lot of these pictures.
Right.
Which I guess is fitting.
But if you look at it in the sun, I know it's rare up there, but if you look at it in the sun, the orange comes out. I like the tow hitch, too.
Every car needs a tow hitch.
I wonder what
And those...
Are you going to talk about the rear vents?
Yeah!
Those louvers that who knows what they do? It almost looks like it's trying to be a rear engine, like a Corvair or something, but it's just, here's some vents.
Or they noticed all those, like, C-pillar vents we keep talking about on the Japanese stuff, and they're like, we gotta have some vents back there.
So, yeah, like, they don't have a picture of the front of them, but, like, I like everything about this car except for the front end of it.
Oh yeah, it's not the prettiest thing from the front end.
No.
It's really not.
Like some of the earlier Vegas have a lot of that like Camaro styling, like the 72s. But
Yeah,
these
the
later
flags aren't
ones
together.
have like the generic 80s econo box look to them. But I really like this wagon. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really love the spoiler too.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all the essentials. But just look at this door card. That if you wanted to find the most generic representation of what to do with the interior of a door, bam.
Here it is. Well, it's got
Here
an
it
armrest, which is more than the Corolla has.
True, but this is how many years after? Actually, not that
2.
far after 78.
Yeah. 1. Oh, yeah, it's a 78.
Neat.
Neat. Click. The absolute only thing that I look at this and I go, ugh, is this awful B&M shifter thing in the middle. That is just so out of place.
Not the what is that? Like a teabag label in the background right there?
This? No, that's
it's
fine.
an air
I
freshener.
think it says I love.
I love
Jesus?
Jesus.
It may say that.
the
What
air
scent
freshener.
is-
Yeah, what
It's the
scent is that?
scent of the Bible.
Church pew.
Now, could I see Kurt driving around in this? Yes.
Yeah. I can see me driving around in this.
You think these are
Because
like new
those are
hubcaps,
weird
or did somebody
hubcaps.
restore
Yeah.
them?
Those are hubcaps.
I mean, I know they're hubcaps, but are they like from current or are they
Yeah.
from the era?
They don't look like anything in the Google image search, so they're probably just something semi-generic.
Well,
Speaking of seeing me in this, I remember back in the day, not to go on a tangent, because that's bad for podcasts. No, you said that the type of car you could see me in was a Corvette. I thought you
Did
said
I?
that at some point, and I was like, a Corvette? I don't even know if I fit in a Corvette. Like a
when did I
C2.
say that?
Like back when very early days
Very
of our
early.
budding friendship.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about Corvette owners that are tall and lanky. I don't know why, but that's just what I associate with Corvette owners. And, receding airlines.
That's me. That's me in a nutshell. Put that on my epitaph.
Yeah, now I'm picturing it in my brain, and I can still see it.
I think a C2 is more Kurt.
Either way, a C1 or C2. By the time they get big and like, once the Corvette started to realize what it was, that's when Kurt probably stops being interested in them.
Probably.
Once they started becoming good.
Not good, because C3s are awful by most people's accounts. But they started, once the Corvette was a thing, they started to design Corvettes to be Corvettes rather than just designing a car, and it became a different car to me. They no longer had freedom in that design until they made it mid-engined in the future, and then that's a weird timeline.
I just googled C3 Corvette, and there's a bunch of pictures of a 4-door one.
There's a bunch that they made that had like this little wagon back on them too.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I can't wait to hear the conversation with my dad about this. You can't trade the Datsun for it. Mostly because we still don't have a title for it. ZK.
Speaking of mistakes,
Aw.
no, there's something complete. Oh.
Did you get the memo about the shooting brakes?
No, I got something completely different.
Yeah, sure didn't. It's technically got like a back hatch thing.
it's got the profile.
Yeah.
A 92 Isuzu Amigo. 4x4 or whatever. There's nothing
Really sold me.
special about an Amigo, but there's something special about this one. I saw this and it reminded me of the Cavalier from a couple weeks back. Because if you continue through the pictures, it's got the same Captain America theme to it.
I see the stars on the side. Is that also very textured paint?
Is that bed
my
liner?
friend, is Rhino Liner.
Mm.
Yeah, bed liner.
Oh, it's blue Rhino liner. Oh, no. I don't think they've gone to the same lengths here, ZK.
No, but they do have the Captain America air freshener and the sticker in the middle of the steering
sticker
wheel,
on the
and
steering
the sticker
wheel.
on their Yeti or whatever cup in the middle.
We got some Cone Dodger brand wiring.
Nah, that's factory wrap stuff.
Yeah,
That's too nice for
neat.
me.
But it's a rebuilt 4x4 manual truck that's been lifted and has, KO2s on it, and
It doesn't look like
it's
the Rhino
perfect
liner
for the
worked.
beach. I think that's just a weird reflection, maybe.
I'll let you have that.
Do
they
things
rebuilt
reflect
the
off of
engine.
Rhino liner?
But they don't want a whole lot of money for this thing, and as this picture shows, it's on the beach, and it's probably the best beach car you could get, really.
ZK,
What?
have you noticed that is not a step bar? That's the exhaust.
No, I did not notice.
That is the exhaust off of a Z28 Camaro.
That just makes it better.
Does it?
I
No,
feel
that's
like I'm
definitely
the
a
only
scratch.
one here that likes trucks or something.
Well, I like Amigos. I don't like this one, but I like them.
It's got the Whataburger triangle.
Right. They've committed a theft, a crime, or their order is very late.
But if I had a beach house or something, which I know people that do or rent them, this would
That's
be a perfect
also a
thing to
mistake.
get there. Yes, but
Deleted that
That's-
crappy emissions system. Woo! Get rid of
Yeah,
that
nobody
junk.
here would do
get
that.
screwed.
Although it's
That's
a
a lot
92,
of-
it might
Pacesetter
still need
headers.
smog or emissions testing, depending on where you're at.
Not in Texas.
It's a 92. No, it's just past it because it's 25 years here.
There,
Yeah.
By the way, news. Washington State is no emissions testing for any car after 2020.
Huh.
They're just getting rid of the program.
So here's the thing with that tangent. The problem is that we're putting all this money into emissions testing, but vehicles have gotten so good with that they're literally just wasting their time with that, and that energy and money is better focused on making better new cars. The era of people hacking out their catalytic converters is kind of getting to be gone. Because of the way new cars run. Not in old cars. Not in old cars, but
True.
in new cars.
Yes.
And 80% of the cars they're testing are going to be new cars.
Right.
So it's just,
Well-
I've done research on this, and that's tends to be the reasoning behind it.
Well, also, the whole OBD2 thing does all, self-testing for the emissions. And that was mandated in 96, I believe.
Right. Yep.
So we're coming up on the 25 years of that, which means, even a few years ago when I was trying to get the Mazda inspected, I went to a couple different inspection places. They're like, oh, we don't have the sniffer thing. We can't do this. Which was very bizarre, but
It's
yeah,
it's one
it's
of
a
those
thing.
by the numbers thing. When you look at the whole population of cars, so few of them are going to be modified that making all of this infrastructure is just even worse on the environment than checking in on those few cars that are still being awful to the environment, us.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
unless you live in California.
Now, the thing that will probably get to be more common, and I believe this is generally how things are working overseas, is safety inspections on vehicles. And when they do that, they're going to inspect that your engine doesn't show any codes or anything like that, They're going to inspect that, the exhaust system has not been modified. That stuff will probably begin to be more common in the future. And the sniff testing and emissions testing will probably fade away. That's my cone opinion of the day. Make some artwork for it.
He's drawn a line in the sand of this beach.
Of this beach where this vehicle is currently rusting. As we speak.
It's Galveston. It doesn't really qualify as a beach.
Because 17 hurricanes have washed it away.
Yeah, and it's the Gulf of Mexico. Notice there's not really any pictures of the water.
Oh, it's so stinky, too. Oh, the Gulf smells so bad. How to offend people that live on the Gulf. Not what I thought I'd be doing today. You know what they have, though? Probably nicer houses than us. Oh, man. I know what I have. I've been struggling with this one lately. Because I think we fixed the problem. The world has found out that we're calling people out for their obnoxiously overpriced ads. So I've gone a little astray on this one, I must admit. But they know what they have. And what they have is a 1979 Porsche 928 for $10,000. Now,
wait,
that is actually a pretty rare car. A 928 with a 5-speed manual is an oddity and hard to find, and very interesting vehicles with very debatable looks and very debatable amounts of time on their screen sharing software. But you guys already know what is going on here. And it's this. They know what they have, but they don't know which way the front faces.
Oh, I see it now.
Because that's certainly a wing mounted backwards.
It's a heavy car. You want to make it a little bit lighter.
Yeah, but it's hilarious because that's the joke people always made with these is you can't tell if it's coming or going.
We're all in agreement that 10,000 is probably way too much for this, or at least for this one.
For this one, for sure.
So how much would you go for?
See, this is an interesting situation because I don't know the value of these. I know the value of 944s and 951s. I have no idea what the value of 928 is. So to me, a little V8 front engine rear wheel drive car that has Porsche reliability that's been poorly modified, 4,000, maybe 4,000 to 5,000.
Apparently Haggerty says a good one is $21,000 and a fair one is $8,000.
It's a big spread.
That's a big spread.
Yeah. Would you call this one fair?
Not anymore. It's had unfair things done to it. All right, well, let's get that bad taste out of our mouths and see if Kurt's back on topic here.
Back on topic with a 1966 Volvo Amazon, also known as the 122. This one looks in very good condition, but I'm not sure that these are important enough to fetch $19,995 in any condition.
Jeff Bezos founded a whole company off of this car.
Yes. Second day air.
It's the mustache car.
Mustache car?
Yeah.
Go on.
Continue.
I'm waiting for a front end picture,
There's
which
not.
they don't have. The front grills look like an epic mustache.
No, I like these, and I've seen them listed for $4,000 or $5,000, in the Corolla shape. And I'm like, oh, these are pretty neat. They got again the really cool styling, round headlights. Especially the coupes here or the wagons look pretty good. But man, $20,000.
Yeah.
For a Volvo Amazon.
Price is firm.
Yeah, the price.
Don't waste our time.
I mean, like I said, it's
It's
show car
immaculate.
quality,
Yeah.
sort of, except
It's
for that
missing some stuff in the interior.
yeah, radio.
Yeah, radio. Oh, somebody cut. You see the lines where they cut to try and put a regular din radio in there? That's a shame. That's a shame. But like the leather work is beautiful. The car is really nicely done. And okay, well, the last lines really sell it. Price is firm. Please don't waste our time. No lowballer, no scammers. Yes, I'm sure if you put no scammers in your ad, scammers are going to be like, oh, no, I got to get away from here.
Well, you said the magic words. Gotta get off the internet now.
They've already been sitting on it for a minute.
Yeah.
Posted 27 days ago, updated 3 days ago. I wonder what it started at.
Yeah, who knows? But that they know they know what they have. They love their car, and that's perfectly fine. But they're not going to find somebody else to love it for that price.
I don't know. I'm trying really hard to like it, and it's just nothing's happening.
Wow.
He wants
That was
none
a
of
little
it.
too close to home. All right, ZK. I think this is like your category, if I remember correctly. You came up with this idea. So I always rely on you to have the cream of the crop.
I think you just got tired of me yelling about Porsches or something.
I don't see how that's relevant.
So what we have here is a beautiful 1948 Jeepster.
Now, are you making that claim?
No, that's what it's listed at. A very nice historic convertible ready to go. Yeah. It's a old Jeep convertible thing, which I didn't even know existed, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, is it a Jeep or it is a Willys?
It's a Willys.
Okay.
This one's got the original engine with the 3-speed column transmission. 23,000 miles, which seems real low.
Are we sure
it
the
looks in
odometer is
great
only
shape.
5 digits?
Right. If even. Hey, that's not exactly garden hose, at least. Huh. I feel like I need to phone a friend on this one. Powers, how much is this worth?
That's a big convertible too.
It's huge.
Yeah. I did a little bit of research on these, and this might actually be a decent price.
Ew. That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Well, you don't like your... It's like eyeballs popping out for the rear lights.
And this bumper, it's like everything that's awful about 80s safety bumpers long before 80s safety bumpers.
Yeah, they
I
have a
guess it's just
shelf,
a shelf
to put
for the
spare.
tire.
Yeah.
Huh. Willys
Willys
Overland.
Overland.
Don't they call some of their new things Overland? I don't know.
I don't know. There's the whole, like, Willys and Jeeps, and they're like 8 different companies, but they're all the same. It's weird.
Completely different subject. NADA values? Is that really the resource for things like this? I thought that was like
no idea.
modern cars value. Because they're saying MSRP $1,700, low retail $13,000, average retail $29,000, high retail $44,000. And they have this one listed at $11,000?
Yeah, like I said, like, this might actually be a cheap one, but at the same time, like, I know nothing about
I know nothing.
It's apparently got a 6-volt system, which doesn't surprise me for something from the 40s.
Are those horns?
Looks like it.
Those are horns.
Yep. Maybe it's a big auga.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm assuming the front seat doesn't move because there's like that little chrome step for people to get into the back. Oh, 2
On the
steps. I
fender.
didn't notice the one on the fender.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would say that's your way in.
Yeah.
So if it rains,
did look-
good luck.
It did look like it was like a 60/40 front seat, though.
We'll see. Yeah, it does look like that.
Hmm.
Maybe they just assumed that, this is probably the easier way to get in and out.
So
I don't know.
I'm
but
also trying.
They listed the NADA values, and it's all the historic stuff about it.
Huh. Maybe they do go to old stuff. The speedometer,
Vinyl
square
or something.
speedometer in the middle of the dash. Suck it, Mini. The garage door opener in the front window.
There's two of them.
There's two
Of them, yeah. So convenient. No, yeah, the only thing that this is left to do is to cruise down to the local, drive-in or parades. Probably parades.
Yeah.
Maybe that is the top back there. Maybe it does have a little pocket that it folds into.
I don't
These
think
are the
there are any
arms.
side windows. So it just has a
No.
top.
Well, it has. No.
No, there's
No, I think you're right. I think that's it. Because there's the arm for the top, like it tucks down into the side. So
right. So
that's it.
Better be just raining vertically or vertically.
It's got snaps around the whole thing, so you probably have to
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
maybe
then
they're
how do you
just.
open the door?
It's like a first gen Viper. The windows you snap in place.
Mm. TIL.
Kurt just learned. Yeah, Kurt just learned a fact. All right. I don't know what you have there, ZK.
No, I don't think many of us do.
This guy does, though.
That guy probably does. Maybe. I think. Cube's Corner.
It's been brought quite rudely to my attention that I'm far too long-winded to be a proper host on the show. In that spirit, it's philosophy time, with me, Les Cubes. There are a few things I find more enjoyable than talking about old cars with non-car people. The great thing is they're experiencing something new to them. They're experiencing something they don't understand. They have a fresh perspective on it. The little things like, vent windows or, the gas cap being weird places or little rituals like, priming the carb before you try to crank it. It's all very alien to someone who's only used to driving a new car, an appliance that just is ready to go whenever you need it. I often explain driving and owning an old car as more of a relationship than anything else. You only get back from it what effort you put in, and sometimes that isn't enough. It's an involved process. Even if you're kind of abusing the car, it's still, you have to give something for it to give back to you. The other great thing about talking to non-car people about it is this: they have no clue when you're full of shit.
Well, I'm kind of happy in that I don't think we need to do a lot of discussing there, because that's basically the premise of the show. Like, we're not even, I guess me and ZK, maybe we're all car people, but we're not like car journalists or anything like that. We're not here really to speak to car people to teach them things. It's more of a sharing our perspective to anybody kind of thing. That's more interesting to me than trying to convince anybody that, like, a Subaru SVX is a great car.
That's a difficult task you're asking for. Not being I'm a car person. I'm a person who's also a car. I don't know that much technically about cars. I'm just now learning how windows roll up and down, by the way. But having an enthusiasm for them is I guess I straddle the two people that Cubes was describing. So, but yeah, I talking about cars, even if you don't know about them, you can just bullshit your way through it.
And that's okay. So now we move on to some things that are probably really not okay. I actually have grown to really like the best ad category because it's such a mix of things that are awful and things that are great and things that end up in our garages. So
Garages?
you really never know.
There's a plural there. Do you have something to tell us, Cone Dodger?
If this show had dated back years, I bet you the TT would have ended up on the show, because that was such a journey to find that car.
Yeah, that was an undertaking.
Yeah, that I could have seen us talking about that and ZK going, no. Oh man. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh no. What we have here is a 1987 Chevrolet S10 Crew Cab. For reference, there is the 1987 S10 Crew Cab for $12,000. This has been rat rod converted. A 1987 Chevy S10. Blue collar rat rod, $10,000 OBO. Complete project from the ground up, 350 Z28 motor. In this picture, I don't believe it has a radiator on it. And I've not yet been able to find it. So, please help me.
I'm assuming it's a 1987 Chevy S10 by chassis only, like chassis VIN number only. I don't see anything else.
I believe this is the existing cab of the truck that has been cut to pieces.
I don't think so, though, because look at the windshield. It's, like, flat on this one, while the original's not flat.
That looks pretty raked back, and that looks pretty raked back, but it does have this weird bar in the middle. So it could be their own fabricated thing. I'm just guessing that they chopped up a body to do this.
Okay. I do see a radiator hose that goes somewhere.
Yeah. Where?
There's I'm wondering, hopefully that gas tank isn't full of gas with the open exhaust just blowing at it.
I did take a picture of that because that's just hilarious.
So the only thing I'm thinking is that could be the radiator overflow, but we don't know where the radiator is.
But also, you can tell how little this thing has been used, because this thing would just be burnt and sooted all to hell because of the setters breathing onto it. I'm
still not seeing what is left of the original truck. Maybe I think those wheels are the same. They're just painted black.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is the frame. Yeah, it's the frame.
Yeah, other than the frame, I'm not really seeing much.
Oh, snap. Is that a heat exchanger right here? Sideways in the back? Maybe. Do we have any other pictures of the back?
There was another back picture.
No, that's an ammo box.
Did you notice the
that's a coolant overflow.
Cannon?
That's coolant right there.
Did you notice the machine gun on the roof?
I did notice the machine gun on the roof. I thought maybe I wasn't
a PVC equivalent of
I wasn't providing enough Florida man influence to the show, so this has helped me out.
Why wouldn't you just buy like an actual body of like an old,
You know how many tea buckets I see for sale for less than $12,000? Many.
Right.
Many.
Why make this abomination?
To each their own.
I mean, true.
An S10, like, people use S10 parts for a lot of builds, like the rear ends and everything. Mm-hmm. But at this point, like, there's not much S10 left other than the frame and the suspension. So why use an S10?
What? Like what? Yeah.
Maybe they just had it.
Use what you got. Also, these look like fixtures plucked straight out of automation.
Yes.
The lipstick taillights.
That looks good. And symmetry
I hate those taillights.
And obviously they've chopped the back of the frame and moved the axle forward, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they just chopped the back off, because that is pretty long. Yeah, they may have just chopped the back off.
Maybe but either way, the cab back.
Either way.
Oh, it's got a hand grenade shift knob.
Yep. Either way, this is truly bizarre. and is the best thing that I've seen in quite a while.
So to compare to the
It's
Captain
great.
America car before, this is the arch nemesis.
Right. Yep. Neither of them good.
How long do you think it'd be until you caught that front grille on a bump on like a
Oh, yeah.
curb or anything
It's like
and just
on
bent
the
it
ground.
and
Like I
broke
said,
it off?
there's no way they actually drove this thing for any length of time. Also, the huge spacers on the wheels to push them out because the brake rotors are behind the wheels at this point. Sure, that's doing wonders. Wonders, I say. All right, let's see what direction Kurt takes the best ad.
I have a 1994 Suzuki Swift. For only $550, you can drive a meme. All the memes. This is the meme mobile. It's a great running car for commuting, or perhaps you want to enter the Gambler 500. I don't know what has been done. It's a good candidate for fuel injection swap.
This line, LED interior lights that are color changing to music. Brackets. Can be turned off. Oh,
If
good.
that's not your speed, if perhaps you draw the line after a rainbow-colored car with the number 69 painted on the roof.
I didn't see that.
A big wang attached to the back.
What does it say on the bottom of the
Man, I
wheel?
can't see. Something up? Oh, it says plus 10 horsepower. Plus 10 horsepower.
The memes,
Yep.
the memes.
Uh,
But perhaps the interior lights that change to the music, that's where you draw the line.
mm-hmm. Oh god, I see them now. They're just stuck to the door sills. Huh. Oh,
External tack and
Yeah.
what is that?
who knows? Doesn't
It's
look like any gauge I'm familiar with, and it's broken.
I mean, it's got a lot of different lines on it.
Yeah. Rainbow power gauge. That's what it is.
Yep. Magic.
Is that why it's pegged?
Got a
Do
hood
you
scoop.
ever just
500?
type in Gambler 500 to see what you get?
No, I
No,
hate
don't
the
do it.
Gambler.
Just don't. And honestly, I think it should be a
Um,
rule for Gambler. Like, if the ad said Gambler in it, then you're no longer allowed to buy it.
$550 though? It's
Yeah.
probably worth it.
Oh no, it's probably worth $550. I guess. Basic Swift transportation.
It costs more to
But-
register the SVX.
But is it handsome?
Who cares?
Is that Hood Scoop Factory? No, they took that off something and popped it on there.
Yeah, if you look at the engine shot, I don't know that there'd be any function.
Well, the air intake's right there. Look at those overspray right here. Oh no. All right. Well, that was a direction to take best of.
That's the best ad I've seen in a while.
You got big shoes to fill, ZK.
I went another direction.
You did.
Someone that we know has been talking a lot about Mustangs and fastbacks and track cars recently. And this came up, and it's an 82 Mercury Capri, which is basically a Fox body Mustang.
It's a
Except
Fox
for
body
this one?
Mustang, but the better looking one.
Mm-hmm. And this one has all the right things done to it if you
That's
want.
the thickest power cable I've ever seen. I think it's got a wrap on it. Sorry.
But like, if you wanted, just happen to want a Fox body to, do some road racing or maybe even some rally racing, this is probably a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, it's got most of the essentials already going. Is it a bolt-in cage? Is that what I'm seeing?
It looks like a bolt-in cage, but like it looks
Yeah.
like a decent one.
It's got bolts right there for the harness bar, so it probably is. Who knows? But still, yeah, it's a nice little start of something.
Mm-hmm.
I could maybe do without their livery theming, but it's not terrible.
No. I like the rear wing spoiler lip whale tail looking thing.
At least it's mounted the right way up.
Yeah. Boy, if you put that on backwards, that would be quite a thing.
It's got a 351.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 351 with EFI setup, 5-speed. That's gonna explode. Track locker end, SVO suspension. Get it, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, only 6,500.
Yeah, no, and like for all these parts, like just those seats are almost half that, really.
I
If they're
wish they
real
had a
bride
picture.
seats.
No, I guarantee you those are knockoff brides. Yeah, I would say probably so. Just looking at them, they don't look right. But I wish they had a picture of it all together from the front, because I really do like the way the Capri looks from the front. And
Yeah,
you
they
can
have-
put, like, he likes a certain taillight. The back is identical. Like, you can share parts with Fox bodies and these. And no, I think that would be a neat direction to go.
And it's like, it's a Capri, so it's not a Mustang, which makes it cooler, even though they're the same.
How to be cooler than a Mustang? Don't be a Mustang.
Checks out. The science is
everyone
good.
everyone and their mom has a Mustang, so having the Capri is a little bit cooler.
No, yeah, they got all the essential
basics.
track day stuff, but not actually road racing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of roll cage scares me, but it's a behind one. Like, it doesn't have front hoops or anything, so it's not really gonna endanger you in any way.
It does look like it has the place to put a bolt-in bar or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of those kinds of setups, but for, basic rallycross or autocross or something like that, just an open track day, this would be a fun little car. Well, kind of big car. Is that the factory hood, or is that something aftermarket? I don't
I
really know.
have no idea.
Obviously, it doesn't do anything, but it's there.
The paint's in good shape too.
Yeah. Again, not a big fan of. It almost looks like the Audi GTO livery, and this ain't no Audi.
It's better than an Audi.
I somehow knew you were going to say that. Well, we've wasted our time because they didn't need help selling it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's too much editing now for you to do, I think.
Yeah, it's going to have to stay in anyway. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I think that wraps up our show for the week. Very interesting adventure we've gone through today. 3
What are
different
those-
Zoom meetings.
What are those things on the ground? Those Craftsman things?
What are those? Oh, the rollers, I think, like for table saws.
They're just
Yeah, I
collapsed
think-
down or something.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
collapsed. Nerds, there's
Anyway.
a table saw there. Construction nerds, car nerds. A lot of overlap there, usually. All right, well, we'll just have to ask Brian how much he likes it, because obviously he's going to buy it now.
It's a rule.
You better.
Well, that does it for the show this week. Also, don't forget, we do have the Ranwin Parked shirt available on TeePublic. Thank you to everybody that bought a shirt last week. Hope you like it. And we'll see you again next time for more interesting cars from the internet.